timestamp. Damn, February 28th, 2026. Well, didn't just have a mini stroke, I promise. A little after 3 a.m. Went to bed at 10. I've actually been up about an hour. Why? I don't know. Don't know. Woke up after like 3.5 hours. Debating on whether or not I'm going to go back to bed. I hate it when I wake up like awake. And I know that I haven't really had a night's sleep. Because I'm afraid I'm going to, get into it. And like an hour into doing a job, I'm going to be like, oh, what was I thinking? Was I thinking? Was I thinking? Oh. Thank you, Jinx. A black cat just crossed my path. Occasionally, around here, that is actually unlucky. Because when that particular black cat crosses your path, it means you're probably about to go flying. He's very, very good. Being what in retail is called a trip hazard. He's got mad skills. I'm not sure what I'm drinking coffee-wise, but it's actually been pretty good. That coffee maker, the button, the toggle switch on the side has been being weird. I've got like 3 extra coffee makers in the garage. I'm probably going to wind up breaking one of them out and cleaning it off. In the meantime, though, we're going very ghetto. We've got a jar of bottle of barbecue sauce over there. And we're able to kind of move it in place to where it can hold the toggle switch. We're going at it a little ghetto this second, but it works. Yeah, it like doesn't want to connect all the way. If you adjust it just right and then don't breathe. Get your coffee like you're, disarming a bomb. It's real slow. No sudden jerks. Careful, careful. It's a thing. The light went out. Damn it. No, the coffee's gonna get cold. I gotta figure it out. Past few days. I do have a solution to it, but it's going to involve moving the big table that's out there, and because I've got like 3 coffee makers that may or may not work that I found. I think one of them is one of my old coffee makers. I'm not sure how the hell it got here. I probably gave it to my dad to fix or something, and just been... Well, there was a time when I had a coffee maker go down, and he was like, oh, let me look at that. That was like 12 years ago. I bet one of those is that coffee. Why am I shocked by this? Why am I shocked by this? It was an old Mr. Coffee. I bet. That's probably project number 923 that I'm not going to get to. Alright. Let me write that down. Mr. Coffee maker. My dad, man. Honestly, there's 1,000 unfinished projects. He always had more projects than he needed to have. I still don't know if I should be using past tense with him or not. Because in some ways we feel like he's already gone, with the dementia. It's a weird place that we find ourselves in language-wise. But, if you count each bicycle as a project, there's 140 right there. 160. We lost count. There's a whole bunch of bikes in various states of repair. He didn't steal any of them. He's not that guy. But they bought like a couple pallets worth at auctions of like broken bikes that my dad, in in when he had his faculty. When he had his faculties, I was going to say in his prime, but that gets sketchy too. Um, he was buying 20 bikes from the auction place for $50 or something like that, and he would restore them, sand them down, paint them, fix the gears. I mean, made them where they were like new bikes. My dad's an engineer, so when his brain was working, a bicycle, which might be complicated for you or I, will understand the basics of it and whatnot. He looks at it and he sees all the mechanisms, whatnot. It might take him a couple days, and he can pretty much turn a broken, rusty old bike into something that it looks like they just put on the shelf at Walmart. I swear. But yeah, he was selling them for, $20, $50, $100, depending on what they were at garage sales. Pretty much, like new, restored, and they were. But when you keep buying stuff for projects and then never actually do it, so yeah, there's like 160. I think that was our last count before we went, okay, it's too much. Something like that. I think it was 160. So yeah, a lot of unfinished projects around here. And I don't have... Could I learn how to do it? Yeah. Is that something I want to invest, 6 months of my time into? No. I'm 55. I want to clean up these other people's messes. I am a little resentful on that, I admit it. But I want to clean up the mess that is not mine and be done with it, It's not something that I asked for. In fact, it's something I begged to not be left with. I begged, I screamed. Doesn't matter. I'm still here now, and I knew I was going to be. I hate being right. Actually, that's not true. I love being right. It happens so often. It really does. It happens 99% of the time. But sometimes the right answer still makes you cry. Using one of my new mugs. This one made me laugh. Okay, so at amusement parks, once upon a time, frequently getting your name on a mug was something you could get done at Busch Gardens, SeaWorld. I think Disney had some places where you could do it too. It was like a theme park staple of the 70s and 80s. Maybe even into the 90s, probably. I don't know that it's a thing that much anymore, but once upon a time, it was a thing. They would usually have mugs with names already on them, and sometimes there would be custom ones that they could do depending on the shop. As I said once before, I could never find Marcus with a K. I could find Marcus with a C, and I could find Mark with a K. I could never find Marcus with a K. So I do have a couple mugs somewhere with just Mark, M-A-R-K. My mom, Sandra, went by Sandy, but she spelled hers I-E. She could never find I-E. It was always S-A-N-D-Y. So she's got a couple S-A-N-D-Y mugs that I recently boxed up. This one I got because it made me laugh. I'm not certain what the motivation was for the person getting it, but I know what it makes me think of in a couple different ways, and it makes me giggle and smile either way. Okay, so I've been looking at some of the different, because Six Flags was aligned with Looney Tunes, so there's a bunch of Six Flags Looney Tunes mugs out there. If you've been watching my channel, you've seen me get a few here and there. This one, and I'm seeing ones on eBay with people's names on them and whatnot, and I've been scouring, but I haven't found a Mark or a Marcus. Alright, so we got some of the boys riding the train, as it were. And then it kind of goes into a little log flume scene. Got Bugs, got Foghorn, got K9 over here. Not the Doctor Who one. And then we're into a roller coaster, it looks like. And I know that the camera, like, backwards is everything. So in case you're not sure, it says, I'm special. I saw that and basically, dropped a heart on it, which, basically means I'm watching it. And the guy threw me an offer like a day or two later. So I got it even cheaper. I think I paid like $10 for it round trip. But I saw it and I just was like, I don't know if this was gotten for someone and they were messing with him, or if someone was basically having fun with themselves and had that made. I don't know. Or maybe that's an off-the-rack thing. It's the only one I've seen on eBay that this says I'm special on it. But, because I am special, damn it. In so many ways. But yeah, I saw it and I'm like, much like Carol Burnett, I saw it in the window and I had to try it on. Yeah, again, I don't know what's going on, but it's pretty good. Nope, no year. How about, ooh, there we go. Six Flags. TM. Is that a year? No. Ah, there we go. Looney Tunes, TM, Warner Brothers. And what looks like it might have been a date, and the paint on it is faded, so I don't even know what year it came out. Just curious. I'm special. See, that's somebody that couldn't find Marcus with a K and just decided to be funny. And they told the guy behind the glass, hey, can you print this on there? And I approve. Really not sure if I'm going back to sleep or not. I'm thinking about it. Health check, I feel fine. A little bit of anxiety. If you know my day-to-day, you know. I didn't talk to her, but I wished my eldest a happy birthday. She's in Port St. Lucie or St. Lucie or Lucy Goosey of the Port or somewhere in Florida. Apparently turned 30. And we don't talk as much. She's doing her thing and I'm doing my thing here. So proud of her though. She's finding her way. And teenage years, they were rough. They were rough. She went through some, not by me, but she went through some pretty tough betrayal kind of stuff herself, which would have and has wrecked many other kids her age. And she did go through some rocks, but she's gonna be okay. She's gonna be okay. And I couldn't be prouder. She's gonna be okay. True story. But I miss her in my daily. You know. She was very frequently my partner in crime. Frequently in step, same thoughts. Where there's one, there's the other, you know. Surprise, you know, that kind of. I love her dearly. She's gonna be good. She's gonna be fine. Sorry, somebody just threw a comment up on my other screen. Oh yeah, I did get something. Please hold. I just scared the hell out of myself in Jinx. I almost dropped the box. And it made a loud noise. He was sleeping down here. He's not sleeping this second now. I make no apologies. You tried to trick me. That's karma. That's what I heard. Still not AI, by the way. Gesundheit Queenie. Should I call someone? Oh, cool. Okay. That's what I thought it was. Because it rattled. Look at that. Yes. Okay. So doing diorama stuff or amassing the things so that I can once I've got my crafting room and all that. Remember, I'm special. And you're special too. Wait, we can't all be my kind of special though. Not sure what my kind of special is. So, I've got U-Wings, I've got the Airspeeders, Star Wars ships, and I was looking for another small-ish type of vehicle that I could modify that would work. Kind of has a scout ship fighter look going on, and came across the G.I. Joe Shark, S-H-A-R-C, and I've got one that's in really good shape, one that's a little banged up. The canopies appear to be a holy grail kind of issue, but I found a guy that had 3. Oh wow, that's missing the ting. Yeah, okay. It's missing the little lever that pulls up the pew pew. So there's normally like this here that activates the top part to pop out on a good day. I mean, he said they were banged up, missing parts and all that, so it's not like, oh, you lied. But I wanted some to be so that I could have like a hangar bay with like vehicles being worked on kind of thing. Very much be able to go with the Battlestar Galactica vibe. You know, Chief Tyrrell out there like trying to get Vipers ready to go out. If you know what I'm talking about, you know what I'm talking about. And he had 3 shells basically with some of the components. And I can see some of the little bits and bobs in the baggie. Some of the different parts here and there. And I've got, yeah, there's quite a few bits and bobs in here. So 2. I feel like the owl from the Tootsie Pop. 3. Dirty. Yeesh. You need a bath. You need a bath, son. See, in a perfect world, that's what that would look like. That lever, because there's a flap on top. You do that, and the flap comes up, and the pew pew. see the grit on there. This is the type of car that somebody writes "Wash Me" on the back window. It's kind of got that thing going on. No canopies, which that's going to be a pain in the butt. There are people that sell the canopies, because of course there are. Sometimes people will buy one of these. You'll see this. They'll buy one, or they'll come across one that's in perfect shape, and they'll actually strip out all the individual parts and sell the individual parts. They'll piece it out basically on eBay. You know, and they might get $5 for each gun flap. You know, $10 for the actual pew inside with the mechanism, $20 for the canopy. I mean, sometimes they can like make 2 or 3 times the amount they would, rather than selling it, you know, by itself. It's a thing. Which bright side? This bright side and a dark side to this. All vary the force. It means that canopies can be found. But canopies are also, from what I have seen, the expensive part to get pieced out. So, can I? Yes. Will it cost me? Yes. Is what it is. The canopies on these are really meh. They just don't fit well. It's a very bad design. So yeah, I got 3 more of those. I've got one that's pretty much pristine, and one that's good, and then those 3. I wouldn't mind having like 2 functional total, and then 3 to 5 in various stages of Chief Tyrrell is working on it, you know. Just remembering the episode where they made the stealth Viper. You know, and he's walking down, caressing the side of the Viper, tagging out Vipers that are, in his opinion, beyond repair. Really neat episode. And as a craftsman, I get it, because I've had those days, you know, where you're just kind of looking over what you've got to work with, and it's almost like a sensual experience when you're investigating what you have and you're trying to picture what you can create with it. I get it. So, that's cool. Yeah, and the guy threw me a really good offer. I think I got the whole thing like $25 round trip. Because, you know, it's harder to sell broken toys than it is toys that are fixed, that are whole, that are worked, you know. So, but that's exactly what I was looking for. Cool. I'm going to need a purple latch top for that, plus the other 2. I should be able to make it work in one of the short ones because they're little. I didn't want anything huge. I've already got one of the big pink totes with my like 5 U-wings in it because they're so long, they're so big. You gotta be careful what room you say that in, right? Got Steve Carell in my head for some reason. What's that about? But yeah, the air speeders are also fairly small. Eventually, and this is a gift to me once things stabilize, wrap up, because these are going to cost me $150 each. If I'm incredibly fortunate, they're more likely going to be $200 and $300 each. I have never had, but I would very much like some Y-wings. I know X-wings are all the rage. I have been a fan of the Y-wings since A New Hope. I love the Y-wings. Love them. And I have a whole bunch of the Action Fleet and or the Micro Machines. And I've got one on my desk actually. Um, this is a Micro Machine. This is the battle damaged Y-Wing. Camera's not even sure what to do with that. This is a Galoob Micro Machine 90 something. Early 90s. Micro Machines. Do you work? Sort of. Really? We're going to be like that? Yes, we are. Okay, I got to figure that out. That got knocked on the floor earlier by some cat, Kaiser, who's not supposed to be up here. Kaiser. Alright, so the battle damage one is 95. I want to say they did the battle damage one as one of the last, because I think they put out a 3-set. I think you could buy them solo, but I think you could buy a 3-set that had a damaged A-Wing, X-Wing, and Y-Wing. It was like a little 3-pack, if memory serves. And it usually does, but I don't always have my table. And I want to say the battle damage ones was one of the later Star Wars ones that they did. Galoob, anyway. Not like an afterthought, but kind of they had already done a lot of the basic stuff, so they started getting more experimental. Got Steve Carell in my head again. What is up with that? So I think the other Y-Wings, or I think they did like 2 other different Y-Wings, mostly different paint design. But they were like 93, 94, 92, somewhere there. But big fan. Love them. Have always loved them. And I would like some, I'm going to say full size, but I don't mean 1/1 scale. Although that'd be swell, and I probably have enough room in the backyard to land one. Because they can pretty much, vertical land, so I can work with that. Neighbors would not know what to think. This is beyond a drone, Oh yeah, no, some of the 4-inch figure, is that 118? I think that's right. And they've come out with a couple different ones, like 3 or 4 different ones. And I know there was a Toys R Us exclusive one, Yada, Power of the Force, original. They've all got a little bit of a different look. Probably like, honestly, one of each. Have to figure out how many different ones. I'm sure there's a website out there. There's a website for everything, right? Is that Rule 34? I know that's different. But I know there are Star Wars toy websites out there. I got lost in thought. So actually look up, 3 3/4 Y-Wing search. And I think I'm probably going to come up with like 4 or 5. Because the Toys R Us exclusive one is probably going to, because it's an exclusive, it's going to have a different paint scheme, something that sets it apart from other releases and whatnot. But yeah, that's for when I have the actual finances and the actual space to work with. Because if I'm doing a diorama with that, much like the U-Wings, that's a beefier diorama display thing going on there. That's because they're 2 feet long. Get out of my head, Corel. Um, Probably a foot wide. Might only be 18 inches long, but that's still, a beefy toy. He's just living up here now. Yeah. Yeah, that's gonna. If I were to do a hanger bay or something like that with those, I'd need like a piece of plywood, like a full size 4x8 piece of plywood, which sounds like a really fun challenge, frankly. Maybe not 4x8. Cut it down in half and do like a 2x8, or even maybe like a 3x6 or something like that, and do like a full-on hanger bay diorama display. See that I'm just like, ooh, that sounds like fun. I can hardly wait, but I can't do that. Not right now. I got to deal with 160 bicycles. Need a bike? Know how to repair one? Call me. Any bike repair shops or dealerships want to make me an offer on all of them? Sounds great. You know what I mean? $1,000, load your truck. Take them all. Take them all. Take them all. Please. Please, dear God. Because we'll get some real estate back. Little jingle in the kitty, and it was unnecessary. Exactly. That's not how I feel about it. Zybots, man. Part of the conversation. I love that. Active participant. And I'm special. Oh. I'm really trying to figure out if I'm going back to bed or not. And woke up and what was on? I know Androids of Tara was coming on, which Key to Time series. I don't know what it is. They love running that. The 6 episodes from the Key to Time series are great, but literally, because I have it on in the background like a favorite radio station, Roku Doctor Who. We're really doing Tom Baker. It's been like 2 weeks now, nothing but Tom Baker, which, again, okay. But, wow, guys. Every day, and I can state this with confidence emphatically, every day, Rebos Operation, Stones of Blood. Every day, which I think is first and second episodes of the Key to Time series, Romana 1. Every day they get run. Why? I don't know. Somebody at Roku High Command loves those episodes, has a crush on Mary Tam. I don't know. It could be either both. Their finger got stuck. I don't know. Again, Steve Carell, I know. Hold on. I know it was on. Tiny came out foraging. Creature from the Pit. Which, if I remember correctly, was written by Douglas Adams, actually. Good ep. Yeah, when I went to bed, Hand of Fear was just wrapping up. And 4 was getting ready to say goodbye to Sarah Jane because he was being summoned to Gallifrey. He said goodbye to Sarah Jane. She was a long-running companion. Like, long-running companion. started with Pertwee, was with Pertwee for a year, and then I think was with Baker for like 2 years, maybe? With or without Harry? Context, Harry Sullivan also could have triggered a Steve Carell response out of context. My brain's broken too, to a degree. I mean, my dad's got me beat, don't kid yourself. But, a lot of stage work, a few concussions, the fact that, and I mean, this has been the case for a while, but at 55, I absolutely care, but opinions of me don't really matter, if you understand what I mean. I absolutely care about the world, my neighbor, everybody. Federation mindset, man. That's the way I grew up. People's opinion of me? Why? Why should that matter? If I'm doing something wrong, cool. Let me know. But if I'm not, your opinion of who I am and what I am doesn't affect my daily. You know what I mean? Yeah, Scrappy Acorn is shoving his face in Janus's face, and Janus is showing him that his one front paw still works and the claws are still there. No means no. Scrappy, grooms the cats, and sometimes the cats are like, biatch? Nope. Janus is my tripod. He doesn't have this one, but he has this one, and it works. It's getting quick, too. He and Hex were, zoomy chasing each other last night. Good God, man. My dad's into automobiles. I'm surprised they don't have a checker flag around here. Actually, I shouldn't say that, because I'll probably find a box with 10 checkered flags in it that he picked up at an auction because he thought it was cool. No, I'm not putting money on it because I'll probably lose that bet. Bizarre scavenger hunt categories. I'll win every time for the most part. Scavenger hunt and bingo thing, yeah. I mean, as an example, found this in a box yesterday. Girl Scout first aid kit. This is dirty as hell. It's from the 50s. I don't even know. My mom was never a Girl Scout. My dad, I think, was a Boy Scout. Still actually has a soapy smell because hand soaps. Still has the stuff. This is Mercurochrome, which always triggers a rent line for me. From Today for You, Tomorrow for Me. The nurse took him home for some Mercurochrome, and she dressed his wounds and got him back on his feet. Hey, she's singing about me. I pay attention, you know. Angel, my girl. Or boy, depending on your viewpoint. And I'm straight. Isn't that weird? But yeah, no, that show was fun to do. Why do we have a Girl Scout first aid kit from the 1950s? Why wouldn't we? Don't you? Everyone has at least 3 of those lying around, don't they? I don't know. I don't know. So anyway, I'm probably going to watch an Adam Mark video. Nothing like a good paranormal investigation before bedtime again. Again, my brain, I know. Whatever. Whatever. My daughter taught me that one, actually. Whatever. And I'm better for it. So, yeah. Girl Scout first aid kit from the 1950s. I don't know. Yeah, I showed pics when she came over and she was like, oh wow, that's really cool. This has got to be from the 50s based on the artwork. And I'm like, pretty sure. Looked it up. Hey, it's from the 50s. So was your mom a Girl Scout? I don't believe so. Auction? Probably. Mm-hmm. Welcome to another day at Leonardo Station. Anywho. Looking at some chess puzzles online. Some stuff that blew my mind and some stuff that blew my mind even more. Just some left field moves that I'm looking at going, I would never think to do that, but my God, that's brilliant. And so sneaky. You know. Just, anyway. I'm that dork. Talking about musicals and then chess and, you know, Star Wars figures. Yeah, I'm that dork. I am that dork, actually. Anyway. Even if they keep buying things from the auction that they don't need that you're going to get stuck with, tell them nicely, please, dear God, stop, and hug your parents. Hug your kids. Because sometimes it's their birthday and they're not at home, so you can't do it. So hug them now. And make it a great day.